Hi, it's Daryl here answering any questions you've got on net zero, carbon neutrality, various compliances, SBTI, SECR, ESOS, etc., etc. And I love sort of chatting with you guys and helping where I can with your questions. And today's question over the web is...
So ESOS is quite a popular topic at the moment. We've got a lot of ESOS questions. So one of them is, how does ESOS Phase 3 work?
How does ESOS Phase 3 work? Okay. How does it work? Let's see if I can simplify it down for you. You need to do a few things. Unless you've got your own dedicated ESOS lead assessor, number one, by law, well, let me write something down. By law, you must appoint an ESOS lead assessor. Okay, we are lead assessors. I am a lead assessor. There are others out there. You have to do that by law. Number two, you have to define the scope. So you have to figure out what you must report on. My tip for you guys is to get in early. They're likely to change it this year. One of the things they might consider is if you've already filed, not to give you the requirement to do the increased scope. So if you get in early, you might get in with a smaller scope than if you leave it later when they've changed the regulations, and my bet is they will change the regulations this year. Scope means you need to write down a list of all of your assets in the UK, and by assets I mean sites, so you write down all the sites you've got in the UK. Then you collect all of the electricity data, gas data, fuel data, and mileage data, i.e. that's your staff reclaim 45p a mile stuff there, and you must process that to figure out what your energy usage is across each of your sites. Okay? Then you must do a full energy audit. Okay? And the full energy audit by the standards we use are BS 16247. I always got the last two mixed up. We use that in ISO 50002, so you do it to that standard. And you go around the site, or one of our auditors does, or someone else's auditors, they go in, someone else's auditors, if you don't use us, use someone else. They go into site and then go around the site looking at air conditioning systems, heating systems, any sort of machinery you've got, photocopiers, computers, etc. and figuring out the energy saving opportunities. So you have to come up with a list of opportunities and you have to cost those out. And by that I mean that they might look at the aircon and say it's fine, can't be improved. But they might look at your computers and say, well, look, you're using desktops. Have you thought about the switch to laptops, which are more energy efficient, etc. That would cost you X, save you Y, etc., etc. And you do the maths to actually say, if you did that project, how much would you save? Once you've done all that, it must be signed off with a senior director. Okay? If it's not a main board director, you've probably got a problem. And the project should be overseen by a senior main board director. I spend most of my time dealing with these guys, very enjoyable it is too. But it must be signed off by a senior lead assessor, as a lead director, and it must be signed off by your ESOS lead assessor. That's an L. And then you must file it by the 5th of the 12th, 23. Okay? That's the name of the game. They're likely to change it, so be careful. And they're looking to change that. All right? And they're looking to put a lot more work into those areas there. So just keep your eye out on, both our newsletters and on the general press out there, because my bet is that will change. If I had a betting man, I bet it would be in April, but that's just a hunch. So they're the stages of ESOS. You've got to do it. You can't not do it. You get fined if you don't do it. What is ESOS Phase 3? Or what's involved in ESOS Phase 3? That. Okay, good.
Yeah, just wondering what would happen if you accidentally missed some data?
Right, okay. Well, if you miss a tiny bit of data, then you're allowed to estimate. Okay? But if you miss too much data, then you're in trouble.
Okay.
So, and the question is, well, why are you missing that data? And generally, the government think you can always go back to the supplier and get it if you need it.
Okay. Makes sense.
Yeah, sure, you're just saying that. All right. So there you go. Hope that was useful. That's ESOS Phase 3, what's involved there. If you get any other questions, or if you've got any questions for me, pop them through by chat, by email, by text, send them on a carrier pigeon. I really don't mind. Love hearing from you guys. All right. Hope that was useful. See you next time.